Who speaks for the black community now? Is it an entertainer? Is it an athlete? Some religious leader? Is there some YouTuber who goes around making speeches? Exactly who is it that speaks for the black community? Or is there one, or are there many who now speak for the black community? I mean, anytime you see something that happens and mainstream media is looking for someone to speak on behalf of the black community, it seems like they seek out some entertainer, some rapper, some athlete. I mean, think about it for a minute. Whenever something happens, do you see any of the media going out to seek out some white country and western singer to speak on behalf of the white community, or some white comedian to speak on behalf of the white community, or even a pastor to speak out on behalf of the white community? I mean, I've often wondered about that. Why is it that the media doesn't seek out someone with experience in government, some political scientist who's well versed, who understands how government works, how the political process works? And it's not to say that some entertainer or some athlete or some religious leader in the black community is not well versed in that particular field, but I wonder, why is that though? Because that's not their expertise, so to speak. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to meet with, let's just say, a government official, and maybe they're going to rap, sing a song, tell a joke, talk about sports, quote scripture. Come on. Somewhere we have to look a little bit more in depth as to who it is that represents the black community. I mean, because there was a time when they sought out preachers, reverends, bishops, doctors, whatever they call themselves now. However, many of the religious leaders are more concerned with the tithes and offerings. You know, they're more into business now than they are into representing the community, the black community, as they used to be when MLK and Malcolm X and others spoke on behalf of the black community. So that's just something that I often wondered about, because, you know, you even see a lot of the well-known athletes now taking a political stance, and then they're asked a political question, they give some answer that, you know, in a lot of cases, or in my opinion, they're not adequate representation of the black community. So I think that's something that really needs to be asked and answered by the black community as a whole. Because you also have these guys on YouTube that, you know, they built up a following of a few thousand people, and they make all these speeches, and it makes you wonder, is that the best that the black community has to offer? Because going back to these religious leaders, you know, they collect a lot of money. They build these huge buildings, and you'd have to wonder, what will happen to these buildings once they step down or they pass away? Do they hand it over to their children? Because at one time, perhaps it was full to capacity, and now there's probably just a fraction of the people that are now attending those buildings, those churches, so to speak. So, I mean, and I think it's a valid question to ask. But do you really want some athlete to go in and talk to the governor or a mayor or president or some entertainer to go in and talk to these people on your behalf? Again, it just seems to me like you want someone who has the experience and the knowledge and the know-how to go in and ask questions on a particular level. So I want people to think about that and just ask, who speaks for the black community?